I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I play video games.
News and Related with your hosts, John DeLuna, XV, Weebum,
Damn right I am.
and Rob.
Here we go.
News and Related.
Hey everybody, it's your old friend John DeLuna. Welcome to New Soundwave 101. Wow, it's like we've been reborn, John. Fresh and new, kind of, right? Sorta? No?
Yes.
No.
No. With me this week, a bunch of old farts, apparently. XV, New Rob, Peter, and steering this ship, JD. JD is at the helm. JD is producing instead of Brian this week. JD will do a fantastic job. He may even chime in every now and then. You never know. He's crazy like that.
But
Hey
unlike when
guys.
Kilby does it, we'll be able to actually hear JD over the stream.
Yeah, it won't be just like our delusions this time.
Yes.
It'll be a person. It will be a person.
That's doubtful.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, you know, I don't know, JD. You can contribute. JD is in the middle of a Pokemon binge, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a binge because all four of us said binge at the same time. So yeah.
Now
Wow.
we're just waiting for when the purge phase starts.
Oh,
Apparently I need help.
Pokemon spewing everywhere.
Yeah. When you can't stop playing the Final Four over and over and over and over again.
Ah,
Yeah, you've
All
got
right.
problems.
I'm going to
The
sneak into the
Pokemon eating
background now.
disorder.
Okay, so just first, our contest for New Soundwave 100, we've had a good response, but we're also going to extend it a week. I will tweet all the rules to everybody who wants to know how to win 1,600 Microsoft points when the show is over, but we're going to extend it one more week. Guys, of course, the big news this week is Arkham City. This crazy game called Arkham City is out. It's getting boffo reviews. It's the sequel to Arkham Asylum. We'll talk about it at length at the end of the show. It'll be our topic. But real quick first, Peter, I know you've got the game. I've got the game. XV, do you have the game? No? Are you going to get the game? Rob, I know you pleaded poverty, which I completely agree to. But I assume at some point you'll probably give the game a whirl. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's on your radar. Okay, so we'll dive
One day
into
I'll
it.
actually even play Arkham Asylum.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Revoke your gamer card right now.
Dude, you know what? You said to me when I said I didn't play Saints Row, you're like, it's so cheap now, blah blah blah. It's
How
really
cheap is Arkham Asylum now?
It's pretty cheap. You
It's
can-
$20 or free with certain pre-orders, which I guess are over now. So it's $20 XV.
Well,
So-
when it gets down to the $15 I paid for Saints Row 2, then we'll talk about
Okay.
it again.
I bet you if you look
I'm
on
a
eBay,
cheap-ass gamer, not to be confused with the website.
that's the quote of the night.
Yeah.
I bet if you look at eBay, you may be able to get something for it.
Yeah,
But
probably. I just don't really think about that. I don't even remember how long it's been since I've bought a new video game.
the only reason I bought Arkham City New is because I had a gift card. The magic of gift cards.
Well, by
And you
new, I'm
get
also
Catwoman
including
for
new
free.
to me.
Yeah, I got Catwoman for free. That
Oh,
sounds so
yay.
awesome.
Did you
Oh,
get
yeah.
Halle Berry Catwoman for free?
No, thank God. I'd still
I think
be
they have to pay you to take that.
Yes,
Right.
yes, so right, so right.
It's gonna be like Clockwork Orange for me, Jack.
I've never seen that movie. Have any of you guys
Me
actually
either.
seen that?
Yeah.
You know, Hey Mickey from Superhero Time swears by that movie.
I've
What?
seen it.
Peter, you said you saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. They're trying to brainwash him at one point, and what they do is they just have this like hat on his head, and they like pull his eyes open like this. I know it's kind of hard to see because my eyes are already small enough as they are, so it's kind of hard to pull them apart. But they kind of pull him like this, and just so it brainwashes him, so he'll never close his eyes, kind of thing. So it's
I remember,
That's what I was
remember the cartoon Eek the Cat on Fox in the early 90s?
Yes.
yeah, of course.
They did a parody of that as one of the shorts.
Nice.
a cat.
You know
That's
what
great.
makes this conversation so much better is when I asked Peter if he had seen that movie, I meant the Halle Berry movie. The Halle Berry.
Oh, hell no.
So if that actually happens in that
Hell.
movie, I'm all about that.
Hell no. Hey,
Yeah, and actually, Eek the Cat did parody the Halle Berry Catwoman like 15 years before it was even made.
See?
wait. So
See.
XV, did you say that Hey Mickey swears by the Halle Berry Catwoman movie?
Yes.
He does. Wow.
Wow,
What
I thought
is
I thought we
going
were
on?
on the Clockwork Orange topic. I'm sorry.
Do we even know? Does anybody even know the villain in that movie? What the heck?
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Very nice. Wah wah wah. Okay. I gotta look that up. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about.
Well, Catwoman is a villain. She doesn't really have villains of her own, does she?
Oh, she wasn't playing like good, like the
I
good,
don't know.
like
I haven't watched
Catwoman
that.
on a good streak.
I guess
Catwoman's
in
kinda like-
Batman Returns too, she wasn't exactly the main villain.
Let's see
But
here.
then you have to actually stop and remember Batman Returns also, which
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's no other like significant villain hero in this thing, man. Oh, by the way, the budget was $100 million.
And
It
back box $12.
box office was 82. Oh, not good.
Wait. It
82
actually
million.
made 82.
Well, I'm sure it had like a good opening weekend. You know,
I think
people got
probably
sucked
were, like,
in.
well, it
People
probably had a good opening night, and
Yes.
then everybody knew not to go the next day.
Yeah, the morning after, everybody's like, no, don't do it, man.
It's kind of like after an awkward bar hop.
Yeah, or just like a bad date. It's like
Same
I thought it sounded great, but it's just a mess. Okay, so this one's for JD. PokemonGray.com has been registered. So hot on the heels of Pokemon Black and Pokemon White, we get Pokemon Gray.
Creative.
Yes.
Why
Man,
not
I,
have like Pokemon Polka Dot or Checkerboard or something?
and I just bought that game. I just bought Black and White. Damn it.
This should be good though.
Well, this
like
is probably the elite version. There's always like a remix kind of version
Yeah,
of
so
the.
this is the Platinum and Emerald and Crystal, and
Right.
Yellow.
Yellow. Yeah.
That's
Like,
You
it.
will buy it. You will buy it,
Forest.
Probably.
and you'll like it. You'll like
Just
it,
as
'cause it-
Crystal,
Probably.
just as Crystal was Game Boy Color exclusive, I would lay good money on this ending up a 3DS exclusive.
Oh well, then I don't have to worry about it because I don't have. a 3DS.
Okay, you're spared. So yes, if you're keeping track and if you're counting, this is going to be the third version of the 5th generation Pokemon.
Oh, Lord in heaven. What?
Which
Wait,
Yeah.
means-
my head just.
which
So
means
think
there's
about
at
that.
least- there's at
What if my
least
head
then
just exploded?
15 or at least 18 different mainline Pokemon titles by now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how you count them. I mean, I have a hard time counting, like, Heart Gold and Soul Silver as two different games. It's the same game, just with different Pokemon. I mean,
Yeah, but like
And
you just said, though, it's a semantics thing.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And then there's also the one-offs like what the N64 game. I don't know what you call
Pokemon
that.
Snap.
Yeah.
oh well, there's like those are like not. I mean, there's like
I was
side.
saying, though, like mainline
Right, like-
Pokemon
sure. Yeah,
games.
like the true
Yeah.
portable
The one-
Pokemon
yeah.
game. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. Okay, so what is coming back that hasn't been, unlike Pokemon, like a steady stream of these? NFL Blitz is coming back. Holy crap. It's apparently going to be just like the NBA Jam remake. So it releases on the 3rd of January, which is pretty quick because it was announced today. It's essentially going to be what looks like to be kind of a cosmetic makeover update, love letter, what have you, to Blitz 99. Probably going to have a lower price. It'll probably be like $40. And it'll definitely be a disc. So unlike NBA Jam, which kind of got a raw deal because it started as DLC, it was kind of treated as like not a serious game.
Well, I mean, it
it's-
came out on disc for the Wii. It was a
Yeah, it
full
came out on
game
the disc
for Wii.
like later. Like, here's
No,
what
no,
I
no.
really wanted, for $40.
Well,
For
it,
$20.
no. It came out on the Wii at the same day that they released the stripped down versions on Xbox.
Okay,
360.
all right, okay. So it sucks
But-
slightly less.
Yeah, but now the full blown edition is
Right.
now on Xbox Live Arcade and the
Yeah.
PlayStation.
The On Fire edition, right?
Right.
Yes. So the one that we wanted comes 6 months late. So hopefully, NFL Blitz will be a complete game, full game. Oh, by the way, hey, NBA Jam on Fire is buggy as hell. Have you played that? It's got some bugs, man. It is not good. No bueno.
Kind of glad
no
I didn't get it then.
Yeah, kind of sucks. Anyway, NFL
Yeah.
Blitz will hopefully not suck.
What I'm kind of surprised about is that NFL Blitz used to be a different company, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But-
let's see, who owns the rights to it right now? It used to be, it's an EA game, I think now. Is that right? I think
Yeah.
they own the rights to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, because it has NFL
Midway.
in it.
It
So
used to
yeah.
be Midway, right? Wasn't it Midway?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
EA
you're right.
have
you're right.
exclusive NFL gaming rights?
They do. So they
Yeah, they
must
do.
have bought it or something.
Yeah, I think they own it somehow through Midway or a sister company or something like that. It's like everything in the world is owned by like 3 video game companies at this point, you know? So yes, so look out for that. Hey, another reminder that we're old as hell
Oh,
is
damn.
GTA 3 is 10 years old now.
Holy smokes.
Oh my gosh. So here's the open world gaming at its
Yeah.
finest.
I remember
Yeah.
how
Well,
good
maybe
that
not
game was.
finest, but
But at its
Well, back then,
the
that game was
granddaddy-
fantastic.
Yeah, it was
yeah, the
fantastic.
game was
Like, fucking-
fantastic until something better came along.
yes. Isn't that
Yeah.
true? That's so true.
Was that the
Well,
version that you had to like exercise in?
No, that was
No,
No,
San
that was
Andreas.
San Andreas.
Oh, San Andreas. Okay, good.
And there was cheat codes to get
It's
around
cool
that.
because
Oh, okay.
what I did was I would go into like the burger joint and the chicken joints and just eat to the point where he was so big that he like ran down a quarter of the street and he would just be like panting and dying. It was ridiculous.
And then if you eat a
Like a
little
steel
bit more
card.
than that, he starts throwing up.
Yes.
Does he? Are you kidding?
Yeah, he does.
And that's why
You
we
can-
play video games.
Yeah, you can eat to the point of vomiting.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. It's really gross.
They programmed that. Yes, they did. They really put that in the game.
But I think, at least in like the PS2 generation, I think the open world thing was really at its peak with the Spider-Man 2 movie game.
Oh yeah, was that? I never played that game. Honestly,
You
It
never
was
played
pretty good.
that?
No,
Oh, it was
no.
Great.
There
Now,
were some things that
Spider-Man.
were.
Now, Spider-Man 3, which was basically the same concept,
Uh-huh.
was made quite a bit worse.
I think
Yeah.
it was a different developer. That's why, right?
But if you still have a PS2 hooked up, find a copy of Spider-Man 2. It's definitely worth getting and playing even now.
But you can play it on GameCube as well. It's available on GameCube too.
Also,
Okay.
Xbox, and it may possibly be 360 backwards compatible. I am not sure about that.
In any
Wow.
case, look into that, John. It's definitely
Yes,
worth
it sounds like there are options.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
this game. Yeah,
was- it
okay.
was a good
very
game.
good. Very good, very good. Hey, Friday, mark your calendars. Nintendo, they're gonna drop their pants one more time. And pray that this time you pull the trigger on a 3DS. It looks like Nintendo's head honcho, Mr. Iwata, will be hosting a pre-recorded press conference this Friday. That's really weird. A pre-recorded press conference that you can watch from the comfort of your home or desk. The conference will be a Nintendo 3DS new information internet presentation. That is office speak for, oh God, oh God. How about this? How about this? So if you're if you're on the fence, maybe now we'll hear a little bit about Mario Kart 7, perhaps a firmware update. Beyond that, who knows? Some people even speculate it will be about a 3DS redesign.
That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point, because what else is there to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the software kind of is what it is, I guess. It's we know it's coming.
The
you
software
can't-
doesn't seem like a thing to have a press statement for.
Right. Unless it's moved up in release date, and there's no way that's happening. So
And even then, that's kind of tenuous, I think.
sure. Yeah, sure. I don't know. I mean, just real quickly, I guess the system just seems cursed. I mean, it just seems like it just didn't work. It's kind of sad. I don't know,
Well,
it's
okay.
kinda
I
sad.
mean, think about this is kind of like where the Wii was, where it's not a great step forward in technological aspects, but it had an innovative interactive element and user interface that caught on. The 3DS's gimmick didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's very
the
true.
Wii would have had the same thing happen if it had not been for the motion controls and
Yeah,
Wii Sports.
That's really true. One thing about the Wii too is like the motion controls. I'm sure they had been done somewhere somehow at some point before, but the way the Wii did
The
it
activator.
felt yeah,
Power glove.
innovative. Right. Well,
It's
there you
bad.
go. Right. Absolutely. it felt completely different, and it was like, oh, this is like a piece of the future. Like this feels like it's from another time almost. In a weird way, people are like, oh wow, this isn't like how we do things now. It feels like a leap. And then the 3DS comes along, and it feels like it's just another part of the 3D fad that's going on right now. Yeah, that people are already kind of like
downturn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and people are already kind of jaded about it. It's like, oh, I got to pay like $30 to go see a movie. And they're like, is that what this is about? So, yeah. Well, let me tell you, fellas, if you've got $250, or better yet, $300, and a hankering for some real handheld action, that's what she said. The Vita is going to come out on February 22nd. 2/22/12.
That's my birthday, so.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. Get me one for my birthday. Thanks.
Okay, John. I'll pitch in. We'll do a donation drive for JD to get a Vita. How about that?
Hey, John.
Yes.
If you still plan on buying this, remember to save up your money and save up your disappointment so you can expel them all at once. At the
Sweet. I'll spend it all. Baby. I'll saunter up to GameStop and just start crying as I'm writing the check. Yeah. It'll be great. It'll be great. The best thing is, like, I'm not even sure. I can't even remember, and I'm guessing that there's no bundle game. I mean, this is like $250.
Even game?
Well, I mean, I would hope, but it's what is it going to be, like God of War? And it's going to be Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I guess. I think that's a launch title. Which, I'm sorry, I don't take like fighting games on a handheld completely seriously. Like I can't accept that as like the real deal experience in that genre. It's nice, it's fun, I guess, but the real deal is in the arcades or console. Anyway, yes. Okay, so 2/22. It's JD's birthday. Everybody, let's get him one. It'll actually be funny because then he'll be stuck with this high-powered piece of hardware where the games are like $70 and their memory sticks.
Hey, my PSP now, I basically just use it to watch movies on and like surf the net. Well, I used to use it to surf the net before I had my smartphone, so now I just use it to watch movies on in the other room. But of course now I have a TV in that room, so I don't even use my PSP anymore. So.
So good times. Okay, so before we go to commercial, when we come back, we'll talk about the new releases for the week. There's some interesting ones. And then chiefly, we will talk about Arkham City, which also came out this week. So you are watching New Soundwave 101.
Magneto has arrived, only in X-Men 2 for Sega Genesis. Now 2 can play the most mutant heroes and Magneto. Marvel's X-Men 2 for Sega Genesis. Hardware and game cartridge each sold separately.
So many dead.
They died fighting for freedom and justice. The reign of the Manhunters begins now.
Rise of the Manhunters, rated E10 to T. Emerald Knights on Blu-ray now, and see the film in theaters now.
Had you ever considered that all this is your fault? Your presence creates these animals.
Confirmation that prisoner 40's in the courthouse.
Heads or tails, kitty cat?
Shame to get blood all over my nice new outfit. place is dangerous. I like it.
It was all a lie. There's nothing wrong with you.
Nice of you to say, but you of all people should know there's plenty wrong with me. Continue.
New Soundwave.
We are back, gentlemen. Okay, so new releases this week. Let's see here. We've got Ratchet and Clank All for One. Yes, they are still making Ratchet and Clank games. Hallelujah.
Actually, it's going to be a Ratchet and Clank for the Vita when it comes out.
Probably, I guess.
Or am I
I'm gonna
thinking
guess.
Crash Bandicoot?
That would probably make more sense and be probably a little sadder, a little bit more pathetic if we did that. Okay, so Ratchet and Clank All for One. By the way, that is spelled ALL, the number 4, ONE. Ha ha ha. It introduces 4-player co-op. Yeah, no, that's not how you spell it. Kids these days. It introduces 4-player co-op. So I guess there's some meaning to this. It allows players to team up as Ratchet, Clank, Quark, or Dr. Nefarious, so punny, to wage battles across an untamed alien planet. Very nice. Or so the press release says. Also out this week, DLC for, let's see here, Day X, Human Revolution for the 360 and the PC, The Missing Link. It's a new DLC. It'll provide deeper insight into the conspiracy, visual improvements, new characters and enemies, and a twist on gameplay. Also out this week, Sims 3 Pets. Yes, it is a pet-centric Sims 3. It gives you control over the game. How much is the Pets one?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't mean.
Hell if I know. There's no way for us to find that out, Peter, ever. So while I'm looking up the price, I will tell you, yes, you control the look and the personality of your pet, your fake pet in a fake world. $32 to make your own moody Sharpay in a fake world. Okay, one more before we get to Arkham City. Skylanders, which, if you ask, what is that? Skylanders is the first significant Spyro game in years. Yes, Spyro the Dragon. This is
at least a decade.
Oh,
God, and it's not a PlayStation exclusive. That's kind of crazy.
No, it's not. That shows that they want people to play it. So this is a mix of Webkins, Pokemon, and an empty wallet. So let me try to explain this real quick before we jump to Arkham City. So it's a mix. It's just like Webkins in that you buy the game, and you get 3 toys, 3 figures. You get Spyro and a couple of his friends. Like Pokemon, there are different types of creatures in this world. So, think fire type, electric type, that kind of thing. Magic type, which I think Spyro happens to be. You also get a little base, and in each character, there's probably like an RFID chip or something in it that is unique to each character. So the Spyro you get has a chip that is different from any other Spyro in the world. So when you plug these toys into the base, the game, creates that toy as a little animated avatar within the game, and you can buy stuff for him. You can buy hats and, different kind of like visual aids and power-ups and stuff like that, and play the game with them. And then, like I said, your characters are completely unique. They are yours. If you want more, you're gonna have to buy more. You're gonna have to buy the rest of his happy crew. And if you want to play the game at its full experience, so all the character types and all the characters and stuff, it will only set you back about $300. So that is a bargain and a half, fellas. I guess the only significant thing about this is like, oh hey, it's Spyro, and it's like somewhat notable. And it's hella expensive. And it's also Webkinz, Pokemon, and every other idea from the last decade, all wrapped into one. Very good.
Well, I don't see any Yu-Gi-Oh in here, so.
That's true. There's no cards yet, but wait for the sequel. Yeah, that's right. Give it time. Give it time. Okay, Arkham City. So a little background before we get into this. Arkham City came out this week. It is a sequel to Arkham Asylum. Rocksteady has apparently done it again. It doesn't break any new ground, earth-shattering ground, but it is a clear improvement and kind of evolution of Arkham Asylum. They took everything that Arkham Asylum does well and did more of it. A couple of things about it. Same great controls, the animation, the different modes like detective mode. They function about the same. They look a little slicker, a little nicer. The big thing that we can talk about before getting into the game itself, Peter, is Catwoman. Okay, so Catwoman is apparently a lightning rod. She's the source of some controversy, some problems. Problems, dog. So some of the games have shipped. She has DLC. So let me back up here. So first of all, the first complaint we're getting right now in the first few days of the game is Catwoman was teased as a big part of the game. So it's going to be awesome. You're going to play as Catwoman. It's going to be sick. It's going to be this like, great, addition to the gameplay. So that's how she was teased. Right. Oh, wait, we forgot to tell you. She is a DLC. She's also free if you buy the game new. She's $10 otherwise. And she is sort of integrated into the story, but not really. So if you don't get her, you won't miss anything. Also, she controls essentially just like Batman. So she's kind of like, cross-dressing Batman with a whip.
I'm sure that really appeals to at least somebody out there.
Hell yeah. I think I sold some DLC codes right now. So there's a little bit of a feeling of a bait and switch when you're like, they're up until like day of release, they're like, Catwoman's awesome. Catwoman's great. You're going to love Catwoman. Catwoman is $10. Thank you very much, when it releases. So there's a little bit of bait and switch there. And also, she's not that big of a deal. The other thing is, for some people, and this includes people who bought the collector's edition, which is $100. When they cracked open their game, there was no Catwoman code. The little insert that had the Catwoman code for you to, as a first-time buyer, put in, the card was blank. Whoops. So, yes, that's a problem. The other problem before we get into the game too, Peter, one last thing I forgot about Catwoman. This is almost a discussion in and of itself. Is that she is being used as a first-time buyer incentive. So you get the code in the brand new game, you input the code, and you can play as Catwoman in the side missions and all that jazz. Well, that's done to curb used game sales, obviously. Well, apparently, GameStop didn't like the sound of that, or they were probably looked at this and said, oh shit, that's actually going to work on used game sales. So apparently GameStop has already started putting in Catwoman codes into their used games. They've worked out a deal with the distributor or someone.
And now we know why all those cards came blank.
Yes, right. Where'd my code go? It went to a used game in Tacoma. So they apparently bought a huge batch of codes, I'm sure for the cheap or discounted rate, to put into their used games so they can sell them at the usual used game price of probably like $55 still.
Yeah. Well, no, it'll be $65 because they had to pay $10 for the code to put in there.
Well, it would be, but see, now they can advertise like the used Arkham City game at GameStop has Catwoman, and if you go anywhere else, that used game will not have Catwoman. So
I think what surprises me the most is that you can already buy used copies of Arkham City.
Yeah, like what the hell, man?
You bought it. Copy day please.
Well, yeah, right.
Ridiculous.
So, 3 hours later, you're just like, meh. What do you give me for it? $40? Sure. It's like, so you just like burned $20 in like 3 hours.
I played for like 4 hours yesterday, and I got like 2% of the game done. It's like ridiculous.
Right? Well, you're just not motivated enough, Peter. You need a dude with a drum and a whip behind you.
Right.
You need Catwoman. That's what you need. Well, you know what? I mean, it's just one of those things where it just feels really sleazy, you know, because it's obvious. It's obviously like
Well, that's GameStop.
Well, yeah, that's true. Shout out to GameStop.
It's the only people
I love
that are left.
GameStop.
So.
If you wanna, I'm just saying. Their corporate headquarters is like down the street. So anyway, I love GameStop.
They're gonna bust down your door. You said bad about.
Yeah, that's right. They're gonna crack my game in half and like leave.
Yeah.
They're gonna crash through the windows like the SWAT team.
Oh, you pre-ordered, huh?
I did not pre-order.
Here you go, sir.
I went to a buy-sell trade store that was like real grungy and smelled awful, but I walked out with the game for $7 because I had a gift card. Anyway, okay, so that's dirty. What GameStop's doing, like circumventing the whole rule that's made to like, you know, promote new game sales and discourage used game sales. They just blinked and said, no, yeah, that's, you know, nah.
Well, that's GameStop for you. I mean, the game company makes their rule how they want this to work, and GameStop is just going to do whatever the hell they want with it anyway.
So true.
Like with Deus Ex recently, when there was the code that was supposed to be included to get a free copy of the PC version when you bought one of the console versions, and GameStop was removing that from all of their copies.
Oh, wow.
Right, but that was their competitor, so, you know, at least it's sort of... It was still shady.
No,
Peter. We don't want to advertise us, other people. They're, like, trying to be, you know, those news outlets that just pretend nobody else exists kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right, I still don't think they get to go and open up the inventory and take out the coupons, though.
Of course they do. It's their inventory. Do whatever they want. They're GameStop.
They can
Where else are you gonna go?
Are
you gonna go? Are you gonna go to the buy-sell trade store, which has like crack addicts laying on the floor? Or are you gonna go to GameStop?
Yes, I did.
Well, actually, the last time I was in GameStop, a crack addict stopped and talked to me about Dragon Ball for 15 minutes, so I probably would go to the buy-sell trade store.
That's awesome.
Crack addict laying on the floor instead. At least he'd be quiet then.
Well,
there's
what's
syringes
awesome
on
is
the
you
floor.
could carry a conversation about Dragon Ball for twice
Pretty
that.
awesome.
Yeah, easy.
I think
easy.
I don't know what's more amazing: the heroin addict talking to you about Dragon Ball, or the fact that they actually know about Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Is that what they watch? Is that what crack addicts watch? Dragon Ball? And which saga? Like, you know, have some decency, man. Watch
Well,
the.
I know he was talking about the Android saga specifically.
Okay. Nice. I think that's what's on air right now. So he apparently.
No, actually, it's
Dragon Ball Kai.
It's still Cell Saga actually.
Although
Yeah, I mean, isn't Cell
after
essentially Android Saga?
Oh,
well,
Cell
specifically
Saga?
comes after Android, doesn't it?
When
They
does
kind of
Android-
segue into one another.
Yeah. When is like the official end of one and start of the other? It's weird. It's real, like.
It kind of gelled together very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever's at the end of one DVD set and starts at the other.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm almost done part 6 right now, so that is the Cell Saga.
Sweet, which is good actually. And then Majin Buu happened, and
But I think we were talking about Batman.
we were. So let's get back into the game. Oh,
You
by
were
the way,
talking
they're making a new Dragon Ball Z fighting game next
They're
year.
always making a new Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but maybe it'll be good this time. Yeah, I think the last game wasn't bad. Okay, so the game itself. So Arkham City, where were we? Oh, by the way, when you crack open Arkham City, at least on 360, and you're all raring to go and ready to jump in, the first thing it does is asks you, we suggest you download the Catwoman bundle. You have a code, and 15 minutes later, after your buzz has completely worn off, you're ready to play the game. And Catwoman.
Hey, John, did you get this with your copy?
Maybe. What? Did you pre-order though? Isn't that like the graphic novel that's like that bridges two games? No, but
it's got like several different chapters in it.
Yeah. No, but I want to get that. I want to put that on. I want to get the digital version of that because I don't know.
I didn't know this was a pre-order exclusive. I
think it was for somebody. Somebody put out like a guide to all the pre-orders to this game. By the way, all the pre-order incentives for this game are ridiculous. Dumb. The fact that somebody had to put out a guide of here's what you get at each store in like 4 countries.
When it became necessary as a trend to have fan-produced guides to where to get what exclusive content, they went too far.
Yes.
Yeah, you know the thing is, we used to have to do that too for like, when the Transformers movie comes out on DVD, you're like, you have to go here for this. And it was so stupid for the third one. It was just like Sentinel Prime cover at Walmart. Yay.
Yeah. Then they're still doing their incentives, but it's like they're not even trying.
Yeah, it's like half of the stuff I don't want.
I like Amazon's pre-order incentive. They give you $10 towards your next purchase.
Yes.
That's a pre-order incentive I can get behind universally. I pre-ordered this, you give me money.
Bribe me with some cold hard cash. I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that what Amazon did with Arkham City too? I think it was like $20. Yeah, $20.
Mostly, actually, all of their games, if you pre-order, they'll give you something. They'll give you at least like $5 or $10.
Yeah, like store credit.
And I will pre-order from you, no problem.
Yeah. See, cool. Okay, so the game is awesome. Peter, I've only put in like, I don't know, I guess 2.5 hours into it so far. You sound like you put in quite a bit more. So what are your impressions of it?
Yeah, I've put in more than 2 hours. I've put in maybe like 4 or 5. I think it's really good. I like it that in the original Arkham Asylum, there was like, you were kind of limited to what you were as Batman. Like you could, you just went around, a certain hospital and stuff like that, and things like, and you would go in these, buildings, not really much of outside. But this takes place predominantly outside, so you get to play as even more of Batman. You're gliding around, and the best part I like is you're running on rooftops, and then as you glide, you're like, oh, there's some dude, and then you just press X on the Xbox controller, and he just glides and just kicks the guy in the face, and then you can just go.
You just keep running.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a really good game. The Catwoman thing is like a buzzkill when you first get it. You're like, oh damn, I gotta download it. It takes forever.
Yeah,
it takes
300 megs.
It takes longer than you expect, because usually like Xbox updates is like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah,
it takes you 10 minutes.
I'm sure the server was clogged on the release day.
And they're probably throttling it anyway just to be extra bastard.
Probably.
Right.
It is weird that she's not in the game. So I mean, those sides that content's not in the game. I mean, it's like a download, which is a little weird when you think about it. Like she's not on that disc, which is interesting, I guess.
The thing I do like though, if you do download Catman right in the beginning, it kind of like ties in a little bit with the story, like a little bit, because you start out. It's sorta, kinda, there's a reason why you're saving her, like from Harvey Dent kind of thing. It kind of explains that.
That's in the trailer, so not really a spoiler. Just
yeah. So for Catwoman, the playability, she's definitely fights exactly like Batman. It's very fluid. It's very simple. Anybody can really get the combat system, which is what I really like about that. It's like it's very gameplay. You don't feel like you're getting bored or anything like that. So
yeah, it's much more diverse. The upgrade system is way more advanced.
Oh yeah,
it was in the first game.
It's so advanced to the point where I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, do I choose this one or this one? Do I wait for? Oh, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, what would you say? I would say it's at least 5 to 7 or 8 times as many upgrades, because I mean they've busted it out by armor, by weapons or gadgets, and then I think there's one other category possibly.
Can I buy a bucket of chicken?
You can, maybe. I'm not gonna say no. It's
one's his suit, one's for his gadgets, and the other one's for his fighting.
Okay, all right,
So
that's
they
right.
Kind of like, yeah.
And there's like, I don't know, probably like what, 30, 25 feels like maybe things underneath each one of those categories. It's something like that. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's
a lot.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. That's right. Gotta keep playing. And then also the Riddler stuff is in this game. It's a little bit different. I think I read that apparently Riddler is not just a he's in the game somewhere. So unlike in the first game where it's kind of just like this added gameplay element, that apparently the Riddler is, somewhere in this game that you can take down the Riddler, whatever that means. So I mean, it means you can do something with the Riddler. Yeah. I think I totally agree with you. I think it's way more diverse gameplay. I think it's way more interesting to be outside. I like the improvements that they made. Visually, I think it's all a little bit more slick and a little bit smoother looking. but everything is exactly the same as the first game, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So you can kind of just jump in to this game.
Yep.
And if you played the first game recently, I mean, there's no learning curve. You just go. And if it's been a while since you played the first game, by the end of the first like action sequence or so, you've kind of got it back down. You've got it again. You know what you're doing. Yeah, the Catwoman stuff is interesting. It's clearly stuff that you can skip. I think it probably helps bridge some of the motivations in the story a little bit. There's probably more. You get more out of her story-wise than gameplay-wise. So I mean, she probably has more purpose. I mean, when you download it, you're probably gonna get more out of the story. That she adds more to the story than she does to like actual like gameplay enjoyment. Because it's kind of the other thing that bothered me with Catwoman is that you have to level her up separately from Batman. So so that wouldn't be too bad if each character had different pots of experience points. So if they had different caches of experience points, but they don't. They share the same bucket of experience points. So if you spend them on Catwoman and then you switch over back to Batman, those points have been spent. You have to go level up again. You have to go collect experience points again. And
That's
obviously
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
So and you have to level up Catwoman. So you can't like at some point her side stories become too difficult. You have to level her up somehow. Not to
mention they don't stop freaking bothering you that you've leveled up. They're like, we're gonna get rid of your compass and tell you that you've leveled up. It's like,
yes.
I don't want to level up. It's like, nope, you gotta level up now. I don't wanna. And it's like sometimes I'll just be too busy paying attention to other stuff and fighting someone, and I'll look up like, where's my compass? Damn it, I leveled up. And you actually have to choose. Like it feels like I don't know if there's a way to get around it. Like you go in and you come back out, but it feels like they're like, oh, it's level up. It's good for you. It's like,
it's like we highly recommend it because you're gonna, you can't interface with the game otherwise until you do that.
Here's a question, just out of curiosity. You guys said that Catwoman controls very much like Batman, which I know Batman controls well, but I can't, escape the idea that, okay, Catwoman shouldn't control like a 200-pound man. But the question I want to ask is, you have to power them up separately. Are her power-ups any different from Batman's at all?
I mean, they're Catwoman centric, so they're they're essentially, additional combat moves. More life. They take just like Arkham Asylum, they take kind of the backwards approach of the stronger armor equals more life. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's just semantics. It's just building your life bar. So I mean, essentially, she just kind of powers up her existing moveset. That's kind of how it works with her. She's got some gadgets. Without giving it away, she has some stuff that she can use. That you add along the way. So, I mean, it really is. I mean, it feels like and I assume Nightwing and Robin are going to be exactly like this. It essentially feels like it's, nothing changes when you switch over as far as like the style of play and how you play. And it's just, it just happens to be a side story with a slightly different narrative. A different character model with some quirks to her. So obviously she has the whip, which acts a lot like the grappling hook, but she can do some things as Catwoman that are slightly different than Batman. She can get to places that Batman can't. So there's some subtle differences, but at its core, you just keep playing the game. You know what I mean? You just as you switch back and forth, the game doesn't really like change at all, which is probably good because I would imagine if her gameplay was significantly different, it would be pretty jarring and kind of annoying to switch back and forth as the game heats up.
It would be really hard to make that
work. When we say like she handles exactly the same. I mean, obviously she's a little quicker. She has different move sets. Like she's more flexible in terms of fighting and stuff like that. But predominantly Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, the game mainly revolves around the X button, so that's the attack button, and then there's the Y button, which is the counter button. And then your attacks are different based on which direction you push the the analog stick. So it depends on who you're fighting, who you're going for. So in that regard, it's the same. But Catwoman has different things. Like she can kind of like hang from ceilings or hang from certain ceiling things like grates and stuff like that. And she's a little more flexible. She can jump a little further, kind of thing. That's and she climbs things differently. Like Batman shoots his grappling hook and then he pulls up. Catwoman kind of. There are some differences. Enough of variety. But so like button wise, it's the same. But the way they feel, the way they look, and everything, they're definitely not the. They're definitely not the same.
I agree with that.
Okay, that's good. I was just curious about that.
And I think I don't know if you agree, Peter, but I think, and we've kind of said this earlier a little bit, but if you don't get her as DLC, you don't feel like you're missing a ton of the game. It's not like this huge chunk of the game is gone.
Yeah, it's definitely not like essential. I mean, so far I've only played two Catwoman specific game like levels, and it's like, oh, okay. The first one you've played, John, was like 2 minutes of like her just beating the crap out of people. And then
yeah. And then there's kind of an extended one, I think, where you have a different objective and yada yada yada.
Yeah. But it's definitely not like, I didn't feel like it was really. It was kind of tied in and it kind of didn't. But I feel like if you didn't download Catwoman, you'll still get that portion of the story.
Sure.
You'll still find out what happens afterwards, but you just won't get to control her. So
yeah. And maybe next week after we put in some more time with it, I know by next week I'll have certainly beaten the game. We can kind of follow up with just like overall thoughts on how this played out. But I've heard you can pour. I know at least one person I know has put in like over 10 hours already on the game, and they're not significantly like through the storyline. So you know what I mean. The thing about this real quickly is what's good about this game is the enemies regenerate. So you can go crawling, you can go farming for XP points, you can level up, you can just kind of troll around and just overpower the game as you traditionally do in RPGs and in action RPGs and things like that. So that's kind of good. I mean, that's reassuring that even.
So basically, if you want to, you can just stay and screw around and not progress
you
through
can.
the story.
Yeah, you could totally screw around. The best part about this game is like. There's like, something, you need to do this. And it's like, okay, so when do I have to? You can do whatever you want.
So
now
it
you
is
can
like
go to
Grand
like
Theft
all these
Auto
side
like that.
Yeah, sort of. I wouldn't call it like an open world game per se. It feels pretty, I mean, generally speaking, it feels like a linear game. Like obviously like you always have like an objective. And it always feels like it's pretty linear, but unlike Arkham Asylum, there's way more open world elements to it. There's much more of a feeling of I can stop what I'm supposed to be doing and go over here and do something that looks cool. Like stop a crime or something like that. You know what I mean? Like with Arkham Asylum, there was a feeling of sure, there are like some side stuff that I've got to do here and there, but it's really, really minor, and I'm essentially like on rails to like progress through the story. And this game feels like, yes, there's a very clear story happening. There's a very clear plot line that I'm kind of progressing along, but there's way more opportunities to divert and just do what I feel like. And it feels like there's way less pressure to like keep on the main storyline like all the time.
Or like, Peter, you played the Spider-Man 2 game, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does it compare to that in terms of like free ranging?
I don't think it's there are certain things that I had an issue with in Spider-Man 2, like that felt kind of monotonous, like deliver these pizzas.
Right.
They don't. I mean, they have those those side missions. Like there's this one where there's like a killer, and you have to go and answer these payphones in time so you can try to free these people without him murdering them and kind of that kind of stuff. So there are definitely side missions and there are main missions. So I be more variety because right now they've actually added the Riddler piece, which is also like about him catching people that he's like I'm gonna kill them if you don't get here in time or whatever. So obviously you already heard that it's already like repetitive a little bit in terms of, I mean, you're inside a prison city, so you can only capture people. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna rob this bank. There is no bank. So, but I mean, it's a little different, you know, like it's not as insanely open, obviously, because it's not New York City. You can go from one side of Arkham City to the other side in like 2 minutes of gliding and grappling. So, I think within that, it's probably not as huge of a like the world is not as big.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I haven't gotten through it yet, but hopefully the variety is just as diverse.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for that. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. It's like semi-open world. It feels like it's kind of like perhaps like I wouldn't be surprised if the third and final one they do in this trilogy, and they've said that they're willing to make this a trilogy, is essentially like way more of an open world. Like they figure out like Gotham City or something like that, or a good chunk of Gotham City, because that's really like the only place they have left to go is to make this truly kind of, you know, open and kind of free flowing. So, you know, we'll see. By the way, the voice acting is good, but Harley feels a little off. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't know how picky you are, Peter, but Harley seems a little funky. But then you know, Tim Daly and or not Tim Daly. What's his face? Batman.
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy
and Mark Hamill.
And Mark Hamill. I'm thinking Superman.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're good. I mean, you know, they're kind of same as always.
Yeah, but
Kevin
the dialogue
Conroy,
is cheesy as hell.
It's very cheesy. It's very cheesy. Yeah, it's cheesy.
It's not a good
thing. It's got some odd swearing moments in it to make it gritty.
Yeah, very odd. Yeah, and it's like today is not a good day to mess with me. Really, you're Batman. What days are good to mess?
Yeah, it's like you're the goddamn Batman.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like every
don't
day's
talk.
Well, see, that's why it's not a good day to mess with him, because Frank Miller is writing him today.
Yes. So, hey, did any of you guys see the well, to wrap it up, yes, we'll talk about this probably a little bit more next week when we put in some more time. Real quickly to wrap up the show. Have any of you guys seen Year One yet? Isn't that Alan?
I'm going to in the next couple of days. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Okay. You have to give us your thoughts on that maybe next week when we follow up. I'm just interested. Okay. I'm interested, XV. I'm interested. I can't imagine that's going to be like a pulse pounding, or it's going to be odd to see that in animated form. I know they're also making Dark Knight Returns as a direct to DVD or whatever they call it these days movie. I don't know.
It's going to be tricky.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to. I hope it's not like essentially like an animated comic. You know how they do like Marvel does like the animated
like
comics?
Those motion comics or something.
Because isn't that what that's going to be? Yeah, I mean, how else are you going to do that? Anyway, I digress. Good talk, guys. Good talk. So yes, that is New Soundwave 101. Next week we'll talk a little bit more about Arkham City. See where we stand on the game 1 week in, and then we'll bring you the latest in video game news as always. Until then. For the crew, for Rob, for XV, for Peter, AKK Weebum, for myself, John DeLuda, and for the captain at the helm, the here and there, now and then, JD Church. I'm John DeLuda. We will see you next week.
All at once, sing with us, heart to heart. This is a spell I use in my garden, Your Highness. Watch.
Wonderful! It's getting bigger!
Visit us at tfradio.net for show notes and to subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at tfradio for news and updates. New Soundwave is a Radio Free Cybertron production.